On today's episode, we're sitting down with Bella Balsamo.
If you're not making art to enrich the whole world, you're doing it for the wrong reasons.
She's going to share with us about her near-death experience and how it taught her to maximize every opportunity and, most importantly, to say yes to life. Tune in. Hey, what's going on, everybody? We're back at FYI. I'm sitting here with Bella Balsamo. She is an actor and producer, and we're going to get into her story right now.
Hi,
Bella.
Paul.
Hey, what's up?
How are you?
Thanks for coming on the pod.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. How was the drive out?
It was good. It was nice. Listened to some tunes, some good conversation. It was good. It was easy. I love driving.
Nice. I'm so excited to have you on here. We're doing a play right now. Bella is in a play that I wrote titled Replica, and we're doing it here in LA, and we're about to head out to New York. I'm excited about that, and Bella helped make that happen. So I'm so grateful, and I'm excited for that.
Me too. I'm stoked. I mean, I think the people, it's really amazing to be in LA and doing theater. I've been lucky to do a lot of theater, but then to go take it back to where I started, where I grew up as an artist, which was New York, with the people, also the people that I grew up with as an artist, and to bring everyone together, it's like making me really, really, really grateful and happy.
Yeah, me too, man. I was thinking about that, you know, like when I was a kid living in New York, and now to be able to bring something I wrote and with such an incredible cast. I mean, you're doing tremendous work. And what's also cool is it's from the time living in LA, I've always been a bi-coastal kid because my mother's from LA and my dad's from New York. But to write a play that's so LA and that we're taking, even though we have New Yorkers in the cast, but it's so authentically LA. And the feedback we've been getting from like native Angelinos is like, you really nailed the 90s LA scene. So to take that to New York, I'm excited because I don't know how they're going to respond, right? Because some of it is so like...
I don't even think they'll know that this piece of the LA fingerprint is even exists. I think they'll be so surprised and intrigued, and it's something that you don't think of this world when you think of LA.
Right.
And so to go in a microscopic level and find this piece of history of LA, it's like, it's first of all not something you see in art, in anything we consume. There are some really great movies like Mi Vida Loca, etc.
Sure.
That showcase that, but certainly not in theater.
Yeah.
And certainly not in theater in New York. So I think we have a really like special and unique situation going out there.
Man, I hope so. We're definitely going to keep you guys posted on that. Let's talk a little bit about you, Bella. You're the reason that we're doing this today. Just tell us a little. So you're from New York.
I'm from LA.
Oh, you're from LA originally?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But you went to New York to train.
I lived in New York for I think like almost 7 years.
Okay.
And I went there right after high school, and I tried out college for a little bit. Not for me.
No? Where'd you go?
I went to the New School.
Oh, the New School. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that came out of New School.
I went to the New School for a little bit. It was really great. It was really expensive.
Yeah.
So it's something that I just decided to let go of and, forego student debt and just kind of like throw myself into the city and use the city as my education.
Sure.
And I did that for a long time. And I feel like, yes, I was born and raised out here, but I feel like New York raised me.
Nice.
New York taught me every big lesson I needed to learn. Of course, I have a lot more lessons to learn. But as a young adult in my really formative years, being in New York, I lived in Brooklyn, in Bushwick, I was hustling, man.
Yeah.
And experimenting and learning what kind of artist I am, I want to be. I created an incredible community who I hope they're all listening. If you're a part of my New York community of artists and actors, I love you. I owe everything to you. Thank you. And I feel like I got to put it into practice here in my professional life.
Yeah.
Here. Everything I learned there. I threw spaghetti at the wall. I got really experimental and tried so many things, and I really put myself out there. I'm really proud of everything that I went through, put myself through, got myself out of in New York.
Yeah.
And now everything I learned, I feel like I can put into practice here.
I love that. You always knew you wanted to be an actor? I mean, so when you went to the new school, I'm assuming it was for theater, and I mean, you were okay.
It was theater and psychology.
Psychology.
I gave it a shot.
Yeah. But theater was the focus.
Theater, yeah. I mean, I just felt like psychology couples well with theater.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Yeah. Well, that makes sense as an actor. You come from a family of artists, or?
I do. I come from a family of artists. My dad is a creature effects monster maker.
He's done some pretty cool stuff.
He really has. He is pretty legendary. And he has been doing this, for, I don't know, like 40 years, I think.
Wow.
And my oldest sister and her husband, they're incredible actors. They're producers as well. They build miniatures, models and miniatures for movies. So like 1/3 scale, 1/5 scale miniatures. My second sister is a television writer. Her husband is an incredible muralist and painter. And then my third sister is a makeup artist, super, super talented makeup artist, and also a model maker, a miniature model maker. Extreme talent in my family, and just kind of art. It's a huge privilege to have grown up with art being a baseline.
Yeah.
This is something that if we were bored, we were given pen and paper and to color or draw, or I was put into theater before I was put into sports. Wow. And that is, and we've always kind of grown up understanding that we have the privilege of making art, and it is for us to enrich us, but it's also to enrich the world. And if you're not making art to enrich the whole world, you're doing it for the wrong reasons.
I love that. I love that. Your parents instilled so much of what art, the power of art, and what creating does. What you just said, not just for yourself, but for the world, and that it was something that they must have been really passionate. Is your mother an artist? So I know your dad is.
My mom raised us.
Okay.
So there's 4 of us girls, and we were a handful. We were multiple handfuls.
Yeah.
And she raised us, and she stayed home and worked her butt off raising us, and I think she did a really great job.
Yeah.
Now she's she's a business owner on her own, and she's great, and she's a grandmother now, and so she was the nurturer of the family.
Sure. And your dad, I mean, are you able to say who your dad is, or at least some of the projects he's done?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
My dad's name is Alec Gillis. He likes to introduce himself as Instagram's Alec Gillis because he loves Instagram. It's like his family more than we are.
That's awesome.
No, I'm joking. But he did the creature effects for the Alien movies. So not the first one, but all the subsequent ones.
Yeah.
The Predator, Alien versus Predator, Jumanji, the original from the 90s. He did all those animals and creature effects. If you've seen Death Becomes Her with Meryl Streep. So a lot of our favorite movies growing up from the 90s and late 80s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
That was my dad.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah. And I had the privilege of meeting him the other night, and you know what? I didn't know any of that, which is always good. I didn't even, like, when I met him at the show, I met your family. They were all so wonderful and I mean kind, and it was the first time I've ever had I've never played a lead, so it was the first time coming out and having, like, they did your family like clapped and stuff, and I was everybody was clapping. It made me feel so good and so seen, and like it was a great moment that I'll never forget. And what's funny is I didn't know your dad did all that. I really didn't. So, like, when I met him, it was just like, oh, thank you. And, Bella's amazing. And it was giving you your flowers. And there was no like, oh, crap, dude, you've done, you know what I mean? Which is, I like that better because the focus is what you're doing and how incredibly good work you're doing with this character with Anna and the arcs you're finding. And so it was nice to see your family come out and see you do that.
You know, at the end of the day, he's a dad.
Yeah.
And he's got 4 girls, and he is a really supportive. He's my number 1 fan for sure. And you know what he and the rest of my family understand is how hard it is to be an artist.
Yeah.
And how maybe it looks like we're working and we're doing theater and playing and da-da-da, but how much goes into surviving as an artist when this is your passion and this is the thing that you eat, sleep, and breathe. And it doesn't pay the bills usually, not always, or sometimes you're rich and sometimes you're broke. Yep. And they really have been there. They understand this plight and this struggle, and that's also why it's so important to praise the artist that you see in front of you, because we need it. We need it.
Yeah.
It's not easy. It's, you know.
It's really difficult. That's a good segue to go into surviving as an artist. So, which you did. What I love is that you went off to New York and you created your own path. And a lot of people think that when you come from family of artists, or if you have any success in your parents or something, that it's like an easy road and you're able to just enter into then, and it's not. It's like everybody's got to earn their way into this. I mean,
100%.
I'm sure there's some benefits. I don't know if you're...
The benefit is that they planted the seed of art in me. And they told me it's okay, it's allowed to want to be an actor.
Yeah.
And it's going to be hard, but you can do it. A lot of people who really want this don't have that. That in itself is a privilege. I was given the okay to go be an artist.
Right.
That's a good point. Privilege.
Yeah, it's like they understood it and encouraged it, where some people that aren't from the world would be like, that's not a good choice.
Yeah, 100%.
Nice.
And what I, even that small seed was the foundation and base for the confidence that I had to go to New York, be by myself, support myself, hustle, work, break my back in New York. I mean, New York was hard. It's hard. And LA is also hard in a different way.
Sure.
I think I was, I was in my early 20s. I was like 18 when I moved there. So I think 18, when I moved there. So I had all this young, youthful energy. I was just coming off of a huge health trauma, and I was not fully recovered. I wasn't fully ready, and I jumped in anyway, my poor parents. And I tried really hard. I did everything I could. I worked so many jobs, really, like, working in a double shift at Heights Cafe in Brooklyn, then going and working a techno party all night long, and the next day going back to the restaurant, just so that I can, take a week off to go do this play that I put up $5,000 for. And it was all just like, how hard can I work so that I can get my reward of being an actor?
Yeah.
And I had so many different jobs. I was walking dogs. I was, an assistant here. And I just did everything. And I wanted to try everything. And I exhausted myself. And at the end of the day, it was all because I wanted to be in New York. I wanted that energy.
Yeah.
There is no feeling, and I know you know this feeling, there's no feeling like crossing the Williamsburg Bridge at night, going into the city and seeing that skyline. Yeah. There is no feeling like that.
Electric.
Oh my God. No matter after year 6 of living there, it's still like, this place is crazy.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about your health. I know you had a very serious surgery, and let's talk about that. What happened?
Yeah, so when I was 17, it all happened very abruptly, so I'll say it like this. When I was 17, I was doing the worm.
Break dancing?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the pressure of my body hitting the ground caused something in my pancreas to burst. And we didn't know what it was. I was just dancing, and I was just like having fun, doing the worm, being silly. And it sent me into some of the most intense pain known to humanity was pancreatitis. I spent a long time in Children's Hospital because I was 17. They ran a lot of tests. They did the whole, hey, can I talk to dad for a second outside, that whole situation. And I had a tumor on the head of my pancreas. And it was kind of like it engulfed my pancreas. It was touching lots of different parts of my digestive system. And we didn't know how long it had been there. I had no other signs of it. This is something that happens to older men over 65 usually. I was otherwise very healthy, and this was a huge surprise, and it came out of nowhere. And I dealt with the pain for quite some time before scheduling a surgery at Cedars. So I did something called a Whipple procedure, which removed the tumor, most of my pancreas, the bottom quarter of my stomach. They removed my gallbladder, my part of my small intestine, and then they kind of rerouted my digestive system. So you can imagine yours is coiled like this. Mine is kind of more shaped like a Y. So when you shift everything in your digestive system like that, every square centimeter of your intestines have a specific job in digestion, a specific and unique job. So when you shift everything, every square centimeter has to learn a new job. So basically, I was out for months. Like, it's hard for me to remember all the details, but I was out for a long time. I was, on liquids. I lost something like 30 pounds. Wow. I was very frail, very ill, in a lot of pain. This was a pain that, I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. I don't have a worst enemy, but if I did. And yeah, it was a really scary experience. Though I knew the whole time that I wasn't going to die. And there were doctors and people saying, the chances of Bella dying on the table are 1 in 5. This is an extremely high risk abdominal procedure. This is, I think it's like 7 hours long on the table. This is the abdominal surgery. And, my family had to deal with that. But I just kind of was like, I'm not going to die.
Yeah.
I'm not dying. Sorry, guys. I'm not going to die.
Yeah.
And when you're put in that position, all you can do is fight. Like, you just survive. Your brain just goes into survival mode. And I didn't feel a lot emotionally during that time because I had a mission, was to get through it. And my family was so incredible. I'm so grateful for this. They stayed in the hospital during the whole procedure. Nobody left. Wow. My mom stayed in the room with me for the weeks that I was in the hospital after. She was in the room with me the whole time. She never left my side. Wow. And this is actually the most emotional part of it now, is what my family had to go through, what my parents had to go through. Yes, it hurt me physically, but I'm their child.
Yeah.
And so this was a really life-changing thing. I was young, so, I was emotionally and spiritually malleable. This was something that kind of helped me grow into what I am now. I'm super proud of what I overcame. And it wasn't just like, surgery, recovery, get better and go. I had years of readjusting, learning how to eat, what to eat, being in really nasty, uncomfortable, vulnerable positions in public, and it was hard.
Yeah.
It was hard. And yeah, and I think that what it did for me was make me live really hard.
Let me ask you, having those kinds of experiences, it sounds like it impacted your family very strongly and yourself. Do you think it has given you a greater love for your family and a greater sense of gratitude for life in itself and how precious things could change?
Tenfold.
Yeah.
I mean, my gratitude for my family, I don't deserve it. I don't deserve that kind of love. I don't deserve that kind of support. And they just, without question, without asking, just stepped in, and everybody had a different job during that time to work, to create this ecosystem for success for my family and for my healing. Everybody, it takes a village, and they really just knocked it out of the park. I could not have been in a better family for something like this. And yes, and it made me, I am obsessed with life. I'm obsessed with life. And what I mean by that is I say yes to every opportunity that I think could make me better, stronger, smarter, more cultured. I say yes to everything. If I look at the last few years of my life, maybe the last, how old am I? 6 years, 7 years of my life, I am so proud of the way that I have grabbed life by the horns. I mean, I really move through my gut, and we're speaking about an abdominal procedure, something that changed my whole life through my belly.
Yeah.
And since then, I've lived life gut forward, just saying yes. Say yes to life. And this is what makes me a good actor.
I love that. I was just listening to a podcast Tom Hanks was doing, and Tom Hanks was saying that, take the risk. Take the risk. If you see it, you try it. If you're scared to make that, do it. And it's this is all going to be gone. And none of us know when. It could be today, tomorrow. And it's so cliche, but it's so true. So hearing your story, it's you're doing the worm one day, having a good time. The next day you're in severe pain and you could die on the operating table. And it's man, really go out there and not so much YOLO bad choice, but make those choices. Do the things that you dream to do. Chase them. Go for them. Take a risk.
Go meet people. When I was in New York, I never had money.
Yeah.
But any chance I could save up a little bit, I would do a play. I would go to Central America and stay in hostels for $6 a night and be there as long as I could. I was such an explorer. I would, last minute find some cheap flight and go by myself and meet people and see super small towns and get myself into crazy situations, and nothing dangerous, everything with logic involved. But all those people I met, all of those places that I went to, the situations I got myself into and then out of, the art that I saw, these tiny towns, these people from walks of life that I could have never even comprehended, and in El Salvador, the coffee farmers in El Salvador and their kids. I mean, this is what makes a really successful, established, and strong artist. Is not what movie are you working on and what shows are you auditioning for and who's your manager, who's your agent. It's not that. Right. It's who you meet and what they do for you and how you see life. Do you see life as a job? Do you see life as a painting? Do you see life as a wave that you have to surf? How do you see it? And the more people you meet, the more places you go, the clearer that gets for you. And this is my one. I don't think anybody should ever take anyone else's advice. I think you should figure it out for yourself. Sure. But if I was going to give one piece of advice, my golden rule is say yes to life.
I love that. Incredible. Let's talk about over the next 5 years. So you went to New York, you experienced, you trained, you learned your craft, you had adventures, you see the world, and you're going to continue to do that. You've survived, this tumor. Where are we going now? Next 5 years. Where do we see Bella?
What's
the goal besides living?
Well, the goal is to. That's a good question. Do people usually get a little clammed up when you ask this question?
Yeah, sometimes.
Because I think my goal is, I rarely think about the next 5 years. I think about the next 5 seconds.
Yeah.
How can I just keep being better in myself one step at a time?
Sure.
And hopefully in the next 5 years, I am continuing to use my mind, body, and soul to connect with anyone who needs it, anyone who needs to see themselves, and this is through acting, through theater. Anyone who's feeling alone, if they can see themselves in me and they can say, okay, maybe I'm not so alone, that's my goal. Whatever level that's at, it's fine with me. I just, I want to keep connecting.
Let me ask you, just for the people listening at home, because, some people could be going, man, that all sounds great and that sounds amazing, but, I make $17 an hour and I owe 40 grand in credit cards. And, for me, there is no traveling. There is that just sounds really good for you. What obstacles have you come across to be able to do these things you do, like go to El Salvador? Or what is it? How do you make that possible?
Well, you can say yes to life in ways other than traveling. You can say yes to life when you go to the grocery store and you see the cashier and maybe they look like they're having an off day. Ask them how they are, what's going on, what's up, share a little bit. That's saying yes to life. It happens in the small ways over and over and over. You just have to look up and look at the people around you when you're moving through life. And like I said, in the connection you have with anyone, there is an opportunity to say yes there. Because not only are you ideally opening something up for them, which shines light on you, you never know where that connection can take you. You never know.
That might be one of the best answers I've ever heard. Good. That was good, Bella. I agree. I think that I think we live in a time right now with social media and stuff. I see it with the youngsters, in the family, nephews, everybody, there's this false narrative on social media that everyone's living their best life and traveling and doing this and influencers. And I think sometimes that has a negative effect on people who are not living like that actually work at a warehouse and have a 9-to-5 and they come home and they're exhausted and they have 2 kids and they, and they're like, that's not a reality for me. And then they start I feel they see that and they start thinking, what have I done wrong with my life? Why am I not living that great life? Where my goal in Paul Tully is to shed light on what you just said. Life is an abundance and we all choose to live it the way we want. I think that's great if but there's nothing wrong with going to work and working a 9-to-5 and coming home and paying those bills and seeing your kids are fed and having that used to be kind of the standard of what we do as people is we provide. I mean, from the caveman days, it's we gather food, but now we live in this world where it's I do all this cool influencer stuff and I'm always looking I'm on a red carpet and I that's great. But I think that's always not necessarily true. But what is a fact is what you just said. We can just smile at somebody and just go into work and be like, hey, you look great today. I mean, you've been working out, and just, we can change a world if we start by just, changing ourselves and obviously just affecting the person right next to us. We're so consumed with worldly things. Sometimes it's like, dude, just affect the person that's right outside your front door. Say hi to your neighbor. Like, we live in a time now, nobody even knows their neighbors. It's like, we're so tunnel vision. So anyways, I'm rambling, but that's what I got from what you were saying is like, like living our best life could be as simple as just making someone smile.
Yeah.
Before we close out, I do want to circle back to the importance of support and family and community. And you mentioned how much your family supported your endeavors, but were there ever times that they were like either positive or negative? They were either like, what are you doing? This isn't great. You're crazy. Or this is so amazing. I can't believe you did this. Do you have any stories like that?
Definitely. When I was in my height of picking up and going somewhere, I always did this with very little money in my pocket, very little. I would work for a little bit, make as much, work, as long as I could, make a little bit of money. And then I would take that money and I'd leave. I'd go somewhere. I would really just like throw caution to the wind and I'd come back with nothing.
Yeah.
And my parents were getting really sick of this. and they were saying like, listen, don't you want to build a life? Don't you want to start to, have responsibilities and create something strong, a strong foundation for yourself? And they were frustrated. They were questioning, where are you? Oh, Costa Rica? Really?
That's nice.
And I'd be like, yes, just trust me. Just trust me. And again, I was like skating by with very few dollars.
Yeah.
And it was always worth it. I came back to New York with nothing. I would have to start over again. New restaurant job, new dog walking, more hosting, more just, accruing as many jobs as I could to recover from what I just came from. And it was always worth it. Always worth it for me. The people that I met, the communities that I made across the world. I have friends I can call from so many different countries. And the things that they have taught me have shown me, worlds that and concepts and interesting religions and cultural ideas that I take with me every day. And I lead with my knowledge of the world through these people, through these incredible people from everywhere.
That actually segues me to, here at National Core, we believe strongly in community. Obviously, that's what we do at National Core. We develop affordable housing throughout the country, and that's like that's our mission, is to provide places that people could live with dignity and afford. So community is a big part of what we do. So I guess what I want to ask is, with all the people you've met throughout the years and all the adventures you've done and the people you've made smile and make you smile back, have you ever been able to reach out or them reach out to you? How do you build with that? Like, are there any scenarios you could talk about where your community that you've built has really helped you get to the next level?
Absolutely. A really good example of that is when we're going to New York, you and I and our team. The people that have lifted us up to get to that position are the people that worked with me and believed in me when I had nothing and nobody in New York. Specifically Talia.
Yeah.
She and I worked together and I was going through hard times. And she pulled me by the arm and she said, girl, get up. We're going to work. Let's go to work. Use it. Put it into work. And she was really, an anchor in the community that I had in New York of producers and actors and artists. And now that it's 5 years later and I get to work with her again,
Yeah.
And this community, you know, that we always come back to each other, and we always have each other and hold each other and lift each other up, because of that deep, real and true connection, taking care of each other and building together.
I love it. I love it. And for anybody listening that's inspired by what you just shared and that's thinking, man, that touched me. What advice do you have for them?
Continue saying yes to life, even if it means waking up in the morning, looking in the mirror and saying, you got this. No matter what it is, you got it. One step at a time. That's how you say yes to life.
Yeah. Bella, thank you for coming on, man. Thanks for
Paul.
sharing your story with us. It's wonderful. It's a beautiful story. I'm inspired, and I really appreciate you giving us your time.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
and
you
I
so
can't
much.
wait for us to hit New York and tear the stage down.
Let's do it.
All right, everybody. Well, I hope you enjoyed this session with Bella. I got there was so much love, compassion, and just love for life. That's what I got out of it. Love for life. Put that good energy out there, and it comes back 10 times fold. So Bella's chasing her dreams. I'm chasing mine. Go chase yours.
You should never stress about the problems you be facing. Everybody in the mud on the struggle trying to make it. Look into the mirror and you see the motivation. Then you step into the world and you find your inspiration. I'm finding inspiration, and once I get a hold of it, I'll never get complacent. Look into the mirror and you see the motivation. Then you step into the world and you find your inspiration.